Okay, I'd like to resume the April 8th Board of Supervisors meeting. First order of business, John accepts the letter of resignation of Lisa Vanderlaan.
Mr. Chair, Mr. H received a...
Mr. Hughes, are you recording? Can you make the announcement?
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Make the announcement that you were recording the meeting to the
I am
public.
recording the meeting today, so everyone knows.
Okay, thank you.
The future will be, I'll be...
Okay, Mr. Hughes, we're good. Mr. Graham.
Mr. Chair, the administration received a letter of resignation from Lisa Vanderlaan.
Thank you.
It'd be appropriate for the board to accept the letter and make it official this evening.
Make a motion to accept the resignation of Lisa Vanderlaan.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
We're gonna miss her. I mean, she did a good meeting. She did a lot for the community.
Yeah, I mean, she was phenomenal. She did an amazing job the last 4 years. She caught many things that a lot of people didn't, cleaned up a lot of messes of the past, as I always said. One of the things that this board has done is it's really cleaned up a lot of the disasters of the previous administration, and I think to Lisa's credit, she uncovered a lot of that, and I miss her dearly. She's been a good mentor to me, and I wish her well. Dave, anything?
I wish her well. Hopefully everything's okay personally, and respect anyone's decision that doesn't want to spend the time and effort to be on a public board for little, small recognition.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Because Lisa was chairwoman, we need to make nominate Board of Supervisors a new chairperson. So we'll open the floor to that.
I'd like to nominate John Cusatis as your chairperson.
I will second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. So thank you both. I look forward to working with you guys in the administration and continue to work hard for the township. It's been an exciting several years, and we'll continue to work hard for the rest of the township. Next, nomination for Board of Supervisors Vice Chairperson.
I would like to nominate David Speece for the vice chair.
I'll second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next order of business, we have to advertise for Lisa's position. So somebody make a motion to authorize the Board of Supervisor vacancy for Ms. Vanderlaan's slot advertisement.
Make a motion to authorize for the vacant slot.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, John, we'll talk about the Easter egg scramble this Saturday.
Yeah, the Easter egg scramble will be held this year at Trout Run beginning at 11 a.m. The police department will be patrolling Hearthstone Drive, making sure that the stop sign and speed limits are enforced. This neighborhood has been experiencing a considerable amount of truck traffic because of the closure of the bridge at East Neversink. There have been a number of complaints from the residents about the traffic going in and out of that neighborhood, and because of the volume of traffic that is anticipated for this event, the police department will be there.
Great job, Laurie, to you and your team for the Easter egg hunt. I know it's a big community event, so we're excited.
No rain.
Thanks for, and hopefully no rain.
John, you're not allowed to attend.
I'll make sure I'm out of town. Next, public comments on the agenda items, but before that, I just want to give the floor to Mr. Biancone to say a few words.
I know typically we would do something at the supervisor seat. So, and I'll talk loudly, real quick. So, to make sure that the quorum is staying the same, at public comment, please give clearly your full name, your physical address. Be respectful, and we will surely be respectful to you. Mr. Hughes, Last week, you came into the township building and you were very disruptive and threatening, so much so that the staff actually had to have police presence when you returned. So I would ask that you would give the staff, at the least, a sincere apology, because that was not right.
I think you guys owe me an apology. You were supposed to have information.
Sure, I don't-
Let me address your...
You were due by 4:30, and you came in at 9:30, screaming and yelling, blood red. She was afraid.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
not right. No person should treat any person that way.
There's a glass between us, and I'm not a violent person. So
She's a little girl, and you're a big guy. It doesn't matter. You don't come in and
30
yell at somebody like
30
that.
days you had to get that information
Sir,
together.
you got
And you
it
still
one
didn't have it
time.
ready that morning.
But did you get it that day?
Finally.
So then you got what you got, but you got to act like it.
No, that's your opinion. You weren't there, so you don't really know what happened.
I know that when someone comes up to me and tells me that they feel threatened, it's not right. I can tell you that.
Well, maybe it's just...
Last of all,
a
sir,
sign.
you can be quiet. This is this here's the budget that the Board of Supervisors is responsible for. Okay? Real quick. This is the Parks and Recreation. This is the Reading Country Club. If anybody's putting a letter of intent or running for supervisor for this, it's the wrong reason, and you're doing the community a huge disservice. This is what being a township supervisor is about. Just want to make that clear.
To your point, Reading Country Club is a part of the township. It's a small part. There's many other things we do.
There's a lot more to it.
Okay, public comments. Mr. Hughes.
I'll reserve my public comments as we get to the items on the agenda. As your mentor often did in the past.
You'll do your comments now. You're talking about old business, the sewer plant, and last week.
Yeah, you're going to...
To the podium, sir.
Come to the podium, give your name.
Podium, name and address.
I'll reserve my comments when we get to the old business on the ready.
So he doesn't want to make a comment?
There's no public comment.
Let me make comments, sure.
You're talking about old business.
David G Speece 255 West 47th Street. Okay. I have a problem with Mr. Biancone.
You're talking about old business.
Yes.
Okay, talk
Making a
about old
motion last meeting regarding closing down the golf course while we're going into prime season. That's one issue. Second issue is Mr. Granger and that ridiculous analysis that he put forth on the golf course. Some people were confused, thinking that his numbers were for the whole country club, but the $257 per user cost based on only the Exeter Township golfers, I shared that analysis with some of my colleagues, and they were bent over laughing. This is something even a first-year student in financial analysis would understand is just so misleading. Trying to create an opinion, $257 was meant to shock the people out here. A $500,000 loss over 10 years, $53,000 a year. But when you roll in the club, we're profitable. We're contributing $280,000 a year over that, an average year, the last 4 years of the audits, to debt service. Why close down a profitable business?
You're mixing up the two things, but go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that's how you would like to show it.
No, I corrected you on the Reading Eagle as well, but go ahead.
So that, and then we're going to sell a wastewater treatment plant that makes over $3 million a year. These are our only two profit centers. You guys can't read a financial
That ship
statement.
sailed.
Hasn't sailed yet. Hasn't sailed yet.
Are you done? Thank you, sir. Next, Linda Pfister about the sewer plant.
My name is Linda Pfister. I live at 34 Beechwood Drive. I've been living there for 15 years. This last week, we got a letter about the sewer sale. And I did post on a webpage, a local webpage, about the last paragraph of this letter. I opened a can of worms because everybody was posting with their concerns. And I'd like to read you some of their concerns. They say, number one, over the years, it's been mismanagement, that there's no fiscal balancing the budget.
$21 million in debt.
And put us in debt over the years. They feel there should be an audit to the township. They should use the money for road maintenance, parks, and say the parks bathroom facility. We should stop playing monopoly with our tax money. It's time to think of a 401k rather than a pension plan that we have in place. Everybody else has a 401k, has for 30 years. It's okay to match contributions up to a certain point. Most companies, it's 5% of the gross.
The private sector, yes.
Okay. We don't understand the contracts. Like the police contracts, they were saying it's a 15-year contract. Who has a 15-year contract? I mean, that's absurd.
Yeah, it was one of the most wonderful things that this man did, and the team. It actually it saved over $7 million. And the police police don't like it.
If the residents did. Okay. There should be accountability. American water is kind of becoming a national thing, and big business likes to absorb these smaller companies, these smaller things. Eventually, it'll form a monopoly. Okay, what else? This sewer plant is at 96 million. We're going to get out of that. 96 million. I myself would like to know what that money is going to be used for besides 18.9% millions for pensions. Okay.
We talked about that in the, we had a meeting actually at Rifton School where the sad thing was that there were far more people in this building here right now than at that meeting. The most consequential decision of the township had 40 people.
Right. Where's $19 million in pensions? I mean, is that going to go over 15 years? Or I'd like to know how that's distributed. I did program accounting systems for not-for-profit for 11 years. I know something about accounting. And not-for-profit, you should see how they move money around. So I'm pretty aware of this type of thing. So I'd like to know where the proceeds are going from the township.
Split in two phases, roughly equal. The first will go to fund the unfunded liability of all the township's pension plans.
Unfunded. Why is it the pension fund? The pension fund.
Why is it unfunded?
Not funded.
If you have it, I will tell you exactly why.
Okay, thank you.
There's an assumption made, there's several assumptions in a plan. Wages are going to go up X, your interest earnings will be Y. And when you negotiate a contract with employees, when you change the pension plan, the cost of that change is not going forward, it's going back to the date every employee was hired. So if you change a retirement age, there's a cost with that. That cost is calculated from the date the employee was hired, not from the date going forward. The date between the date the employee was hired and today's date is used in the calculation of the unfunded liability. I talked to any actuary who done some pensions and they will more fully explain that. The other function, the other $9 million is to pay what's known as OPEB. You know what OPEB is? Other post-employment medical benefits. Well, up until the 15-year contract, the police officers got post-medical retirement benefits on retirement. Part of the agreement that we struck with them is any officer hired after January 1st, 2017 is no longer eligible for the post-medical retirement benefits. The board changed all of the pension plans for all employees. So in order to pay for that cost, an actuary determined how much that cost would be for all the employees based on their age and their retirement date. And you come up, you put $9 million away, you will not have to pay any more money going forward. That's an actuarial calculation. So the assumption here was you put the money away, you never have to worry. You don't have to, the general fund has no other expense going forward.
Thank you for that explanation.
Sure.
do have a couple things that have concerned me over the years. One of them actually was not with the township so much, it was with the school board, so I'll leave that.
There's a school board member right in the back. You can talk to him after the meeting.
Oh, I'd love to talk.
Mr. Hunter Aarons.
My other concern about the township is that we're thinking about buying the giant. I remember when they tried to buy Gilman Avenue and Never Sink, then...
That was the school board. The school district.
That was the
School district, yes.
also. Okay, I'll leave that out. But what we do need, and I've been going on about this for 40 years, is we don't have a rec center. We have a rec director. What does that person do?
She does a lot.
Really know.
She's sitting right there.
Okay, good. I have to see her. My daughter works the rec department in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the number of programs that are going on, and even when she worked for a small little town, the number of programs were plentiful for the community. I don't have grandchildren. My kids are grown. It doesn't matter to me. But the rec center in Exeter is Bruno's Pizza. And that's not good. We have to start thinking about if we're going to buy the building, the school will buy the building. There's got to be something for the teenagers. It's not getting better, it's just getting worse.
I agree.
Okay, that's all I have. And like I said, these are opinions of the webpage.
Facebook.
I don't like the fact that they want you to be overseen or audited, but we don't know what's going on all the time, you know.
But the wastewater treatment plant was a tough decision. We did a lot of homework on it.
And I'm sure
It was
there
a
are a lot of
it was an 18-month process.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
sure
not
there are
something
a
we
lot
didn't say
of-
let's
a
sell
lot
the
of
sewer plant.
repairs. But I'd like to know what's going to happen to that 96 million.
Well, what's remaining money is actually going to knock off, we're going to do a homestead act where it's going to knock off $50,000 off of everybody's property.
Was that 160 a year because they're going to raise the rates anyway, right?
I don't know.
29%.
That's close. That's like Medicare. We'll give you a raise in Medicare, but we're going to raise.
It's a net. It's a net 146 positive. So.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so that's
No,
that.
thank you for your public comments.
Next, Ms. Vlasic, about the Reading Country Club.
The webpage. Yeah.
Thank you. My name's Pat Vlasic. I don't have to spell it this time, right? 211 Rugby Road. Just some thoughts, speaking with friends of mine, other residents. Now that we know that we're keeping, at least with the country club, and it was brought up about the idea about doing marketing and having some other ideas as to for off times that the country club could be used. I would like to present or propose to the township that they consider getting a small group, having a small group of residents, working with some board members to come up with marketing ideas or some ideas that other residents have about how the property could be used as in a positive way to accrue more, to make more revenue. And two heads are better than one, as they say, and if we had 4 or 6, I think that would be great. But also having the counseling or working in conjunction, not against the township, that would be counterproductive, but to have some input from other residents that are really interested in the future and the vitality of the country club. I got married there. I mean, I didn't get married there. I had my reception there, and there are a lot of good things and a lot of tournaments and all. And I just think that both the township and residents too, we need to think outside of the box a little bit and become really creative.
Yeah, I know there is an Exeter Reading Country Club partnership that is open to the public. I know a couple of the members are here.
I didn't know.
Yeah, Mr. Gaultier and Mr. Staub in the back.
How do we get
I
there?
myself have planned many events there. I did fireworks there, concert, fling golf, so we've done other things there. That's what I've always said, is that it needs to do other things besides golf.
Well, yeah, and a lot of, I can only speak for myself, but I didn't know that there was this committee that you're speaking of, and I think if you get it out there, the interested residents will come or present something, be willing to work in cooperation with, not against anybody, and I'm for it. And
Get involved, yeah. Get
Yeah.
involved, yeah.
So, and I think that's, oh, wait a minute. And I guess that's about it.
Excellent. Thanks again for
Okay,
coming.
thank you.
Next, Jewel Albright, about the Reading Country Club.
I'm Jewel Albright, 11 Dog Lane Drive. My comments are very similar to Mrs. Flasack's comments, that we really need to get the community invested in. This is their club. We own it. Exeter Township is not just the board, it's everybody. So everybody is a member of this club, and they think we need to do things to get the community more invested in what is theirs. And I would like to see maybe an open house where you could take people on tours of all the little hidden rooms and things in the club, so they could see what it is that they own. And they'll feel more a part of it, and more invested.
Yeah, we actually did the Walk for Literacy 2 years in a row, Mr. Speece and I, and no one came.
Well,
I mean,
no, but
that's-
did that have anything to do with
Yeah,
the...
we toured the whole golf course.
No, I mean, not the golf course, I'm talking about the clubhouse. I'm talking about the building, the clubhouse, okay? But I think also, one thing that's been lacking is that people aren't always aware of what's going on. The newsletter has become more and more like a glossy promotional thing for the community that is really not.
It used to be, but did you see the last newsletter that was put together?
I did.
It was
Well-
very, very informative. We got major kudos. Very informative it was.
Yeah, but it's not as informative as it used to be. Let me put it, in the past, there was a lot more little newsy things promoting what's going on in the community. And I was disappointed that the Easter egg hunt is not at the country club. The driving range would be a perfect
I think we
place.
did that last year and it rained.
Well, that's not the club's fault, but we went by, we saw the sign, they're at the country club, and you would think it's at the country club.
It says Trout Run. It's the sign on the Reading
No,
Country
but
Club, yes.
when you're going 45 miles an hour, it's hard to read all of it, You really can't. What happened to the signpost that was out
Oh,
here?
that was hideous. That was horrible. I've been dying to get that torn down. Thank you, Clarence.
No, but it was informative, and people got to see what was
It
going
was
on.
a hideous eyesore.
I don't agree.
But we're going to look at something electronic. We've been talking about that.
Yeah, you really need, that is a place where people are going, they're not going fast, and there's a lot of traffic that goes by here.
I saw it as an embarrassment, but that's my opinion.
No, I don't think so. But I have a question, and it's about the decision to evict Viva. How was that decision made? Not why, but how? Was it voted on at the board? Was it,
We took a vote on that and
was that at a public meeting that you did
We're
that?
in litigation right now.
I mean, no, I'm asking, was that, yes, that public meeting, because that resulted in, a huge expense. You could have just let them die a natural death, they weren't gonna kick them out, they were gonna walk out on their own eventually. So, this guy's a lawyer. What did you think he was gonna do? Just, walk away and say, okay, you're right.
He's a real estate agent.
Oh, I heard he was a lawyer. What?
He's done well.
Oh, did he inherit the beverage company? Okay, well, but anyway,
we should-
he was not the kind of guy that was gonna walk away with his head down.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, thanks, Jewel. Always a pleasure. Hunter, you're up. You're going to talk about the appointment of the new Board of Supervisor members. that we just advertised. Name and address on it.
My name is Hunter Ahrens, in case anybody was confused about that. My address is 5450 Old Turnpike Road. I want to try and speak today about something that's really concerning to me, and it's difficult to say to some people that I consider to be my friends. But I'm concerned because I think that there is a growing pattern of things, of controversies surrounding the township. A pattern that each of the items of controversy, whether it be the sewer plant sale, the Reading Country Club, May Days, outsourcing of the ambulance company, no matter the good reasons surrounding the issues, all together in such rapidity, they show that there is a pattern here that, to me, it seems that the board is not leading the community as best they could. And I'm concerned because I think that this board has the opportunity to do a lot of great things, but constantly I see innuendo happening, rumors and mull from the townships, and you know, it's difficult because this is my home and it always has been, and I want it to continue to be my home. And I'm asking that the board set a new direction where they're very focused on the problems, but they're soft on the people. And I think that that would be a new approach that the board needs to take. And I urge you that when you're looking and interviewing for these new candidates, that you would really look to people who have the ability to put forward all their faculties to every part of this job. And I'm appreciative that, Vinny, you brought up the budget, and the Reading Country Club isn't the only thing at issue here, but it's one of the things that the community cares about. And we need you to be a just broker with us. And I'm saying that because there's so much confusion about what's happening.
Who's on?
This is public comment, so I'm commenting.
Okay.
There's so much confusion about what's happening with canceled meetings, unresponded emails, and now we're seeing right-to-know requests come out and be publicized, and I'm just very concerned, and I want to hear from the supervisors. You guys have all the information, but we continue to see things that we aren't being told up front about, and I'm asking you to lead us because we want to follow you guys in the direction that is good. Thank you.
Mr. Gualtieri.
Greg Galtier, 11 Nancy Circle. I want to point out one thing, and then I have a request. You talked about the newsletter. I do want to point out that there was nothing in Reading Country Club, nothing in it about Reading Country Club. You need to get behind it if you're going to be successful. The request is that in the future, when you have a meeting and Reading Country Club is on the agenda, you move the meeting. This is 2 meetings in a row where people are out in the lobby or sitting on the floor. There's really absolutely no reason for this.
Greg, we can't move every meeting somewhere when we're talking about one issue on the Reading Country Club. That's not happening.
Well, maybe then we should get the video camera fixed so that people can watch it.
There's a special meeting, I agree with you, but not just a topic on the Reading Country Club. We're not going to move the meeting.
We need to find it. You lost our trust last meeting.
Yes.
You lost our trust. You tried to pull a fast one,
Yep.
and people are upset.
Yep.
And that's the reality of it. So you need to find a way.
Last Janet Hubert. Last time.
Janet Earlbrink, 12 Longview Drive. I just wanted to make a comment. I don't know if you're all subscribers to the Reading Eagle, but I compiled a list of, a copy of the letters from the, pertaining to the Reading Country Club, just for the record. I'll pass it around.
You mean letters to the editor?
Letters to the editor.
Yep. Is that all?
As
Next, disbursements.
I make a motion to approve the disbursements.
I'll second. Any further discussion?
I'd like to say
All those in
something.
favor say aye.
Can I say something?
Those
Yeah.
opposed?
Can I say something?
No, we're going to do the meeting. You can talk after the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next up, old business, consider granting time extension for Pathfinder Meadows.
Mr. Chair, we have a letter from the developer requesting a 30-day extension on this matter. Administration and engineer would recommend the board grant the extension.
Make a motion. I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, we want to discuss the non-residential rates for the summer program.
Mr. Chairman, recalling a conversation during budget time, the board decided to defer conversation on whether or not to have non-residents participate in the summer program, and if so, what the rate would be. Judging by the attendance so far, the Recreation Director recommends that 15% of the total number of participants be reserved for non-residents. That would be 48. There is sufficient space available for that. And that the non-resident rate be $175 per child. The proposal was
Repeat that. The rate.
$175.
This is for non-residents.
Non-residents. There are, how many? There's 325 total spots. 48 would be for non-residents. And how many are available? How many residents are available now still? There are 259 township residents involved, and the balance, we keep a minimum of 18 spots for additional township residents who come at the last minute to sign up. So even though you haven't signed up now at 48 non-residents, there's still the 18 slots left over for township residents.
How long is the summer program?
8 weeks.
Thank you.
So we need a motion to set the rate and to limit the non-resident participation to no more than 48 spots.
They were the rates we discussed at the budget meeting, right?
They were same rates, yes.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve.
I will second that.
Any further discussion?
I have one question. On the sports center for Down and Happy, when they do the basketball and everything like that, that's not going to be held this summer at all?
Basketball is being held.
That's
So the
separate.
basketball camp, or the sports camp, though, in the day?
Sports camp is not.
They're not going to do that during the day, okay? Just at night time, okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, we're going to discuss the monthly golf report.
All right, through the month of March, revenues at the club are $24,386.
That's it.
Through the month of
Oh, I
March.
think it's good.
No, through the month. And expenses are $78,013 for a net deficit as of March 31 of $53,627.
Talk about it.
Yeah, this will be on the top, this will be a budget. This will be a topic on the first meeting of every month going forward. When the report comes out at the end of the previous month, we'll just disseminate to the board and discuss it at the board meeting.
So every month, we're going to tell the public where we're at with the Reading Country Club.
Breakdown of the expenses.
Open up the bar and restaurant.
When are you going to open the restaurant?
Next, we're going to discuss the Reading Country Club, a discussion of 2019 golf fees.
Mr. Chair, this is following on the conversation from last meeting. The administration is seeking direction from the board on primarily the 80 or 80-plus rounds of golf. So far this year, 10 golfers have signed up for the 80-plus rounds. I just need a little direction.
So what we're going to do is keep those 10 people at the 80 plus rounds.
Plus meaning what?
Plus meaning those 10 people, because they already signed up, it's unlimited. And then my suggestion, let me, hear me out, Vinny. My suggestion then is anybody new, it becomes the 80 rounds. I think it's a fair compromise. Thoughts?
Yeah, the thoughts are you don't have to worry about selling any more of the packages because they will not be market priced.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
If you look at the market, you can have a membership. We don't want to have memberships at Reading Country Club. You can have a membership any horse in Berks County anywhere from $1,000 up to the highest price point is $3,200. At that club, that includes other amenities. That includes driving range, that includes, and I know this because I did this research when we came up with alternatives, options that the board wanted to consider going into 2018. So 3,200 is the very high point of the market.
It's actually 3,556 for the Cold Gold Nopes today, and they have an amusement tax.
It's part of it's on their website, it's $3,200. I confirmed this.
I called him and he said it's 3,556 if you get that package because they have an amusement tax. I don't know why it says 3,200.
Okay, it can be $3,500, but if you limit to 80 rounds, most people do the unlimited packages and memberships for those amenities. If you look at our prices plus our a la carte version, we're at either $3,250, I think it is for the public, or $3,450 for the 80 round package. If someone's going to buy additional rounds and play 120 rounds, they're going to be well over $5,000. So it's fine, but you're just not going to have that market. It's the reason we set those rates, and the reason we did this was based on the market, based on the data, based on being somewhat competitive. So the very high end of the public market, our quality has been going down at our course, and we're going to charge over market value. It's just the reality of you're not going to sell them.
Vinny, do you want to add anything?
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out. So in 2018, I put 2018 golf rates on the internet, and it said that. And when it came up for 2018 golf rates, and it comes up, and I clicked on the link for the Exeter, and it doesn't say 80 plus, it just says 80 rounds. I'm just trying to understand where the plus came. I wasn't on the board when that was decided, but it said 12/1 of 2017, it was approved that you guys...
Correct, and then in January, we approved the VIP package, which was considered 80 plus, and there's 10 golfers that bought the VIP package. So these 10 golfers we're going to keep at the VIP package.
But it was last year, it wasn't unlimited though, was it?
It was 80 plus. I think I sent you a copy of it, because I worked on that before I left the course, and it was called unlimited. We couldn't find a name of it, because nobody wanted to say membership, and no one wanted it to be all-inclusive. So we went from unlimited to 80, and then to encompass people over that, and take into account market account, we did 80 plus. That was posted on the website, which I have on my computer, because I had a copy of the final version.
No, but it's okay that someone, but 80 plus would be to me like up to 90. Because once you get past that, now you're at 90 plus. But so if you have someone that's over 150 rounds, but only paid for the 80 plus.
It wasn't defined.
So what about a 20 package? How did you keep track? How did anybody keep track of the 20 rounds?
It's done in the computer.
So when they hit 20, what happens?
It stops.
And 40?
Same way.
For the 80, it didn't ding like every time?
Additional rounds. While you're at mark, you can only squeeze so much blood out of a stone, and when you hit the high end of the market, it's just the way it is. That was a discussion we had when I was there, working there, talking and working with the board.
Right.
And that was a decision we came up with. Now you can look at it losing a couple rounds, or you can look at it as saying we don't want 10 people playing more than 80 rounds, and you give up $30,000 or $40,000. That's a choice for the board to make.
Well, I don't think it lose 30, 40, but I guess my point is, I'm just trying to make, you got 25,500 residents. And again, I'm not opposed to the golf course. I'm a golfer. I'm not. You can all say I'm not. I'm not. But I'm not opposed to the golf course. But when you got 512 residents using it, it's tough to swallow. I've had a lot of people come up to me to complain about it. Like when you offered to put in the money. The one lady said to me, well, why didn't he put 50,000 to save the homeless animals for ARL? And I said, well, I don't know. I mean, you can ask him. But, you know, I'm just trying to speak for, again, going forward, what are we going to do? I have people, oh, we should put a pool. What? I mean, that could cost $2 million. So, I mean, there's a lot of great ideas, but again, sir, you keep your comments to yourself. You want us to talk?
Wait, keep going.
I'm just saying, you got 25,500 people. That's, when you make a decision, it's not like me, Dave, and John on the course, and we can just decide to do whatever and have the good old boys thing here going. You know, you got to answer to everybody. So I'm just bringing up the questions that to the taxpayers that don't golf and are paying for it, and they're asking me questions, and I don't have the 100% answers for them. I'm just trying to get things straightened out. So again, I just want to make sure that what was again, we sold the packages before we even approved them. That's the other part. Yeah,
that'll be fixed going forward. So my proposal is that the 10 people that bought the package, they stay unlimited, and then anything going forward, you stop at the 80 for this year.
Now, because you did memberships before though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and this was a compromise. So we priced the 80-round package at the price of a membership fully loaded and the most we thought we could get. That's why we called it 80 plus. Now you're just saying that, you know,
those are fine.
You're basically raising the price.
No, these guys stay at the 80 plus.
No one's going to buy another one, so, you know, it doesn't matter.
Yes, that's why I think this is a fair compromise. I think it's a good idea. So I would propose, that's my proposal, to keep the 10 people at the 80 plus, but then going forward, it becomes the 80 for the rest of this year.
Then you have people going to other courses. That's right.
Not necessarily.
Oh, yeah. Everybody will go to Golden Oaks.
Without a doubt.
And take their money to another town.
Yeah, guys,
I would just say in the history, I don't know that it does matter because, you know, past years, the past 2 years, you don't sell an 80-round package from this time on. You know, as you run into this,
that's why I think
you only have half.
I don't think it's an issue.
Like half a year left. It's not.
That's why I don't think it's an issue. That's why I would give.
We're not even make a motion and leave it the way it is.
Well, I would just give John that direction. That he needs direction for anybody that's beyond the. If we do get an 11 person that wants to buy the 80-round package, that's what we have to vote on. He needs direction.
So we're eliminating the 80-round plus package. Well, you're basically you're eliminating.
But like you said, it's not going to matter according to what you just said.
Yeah. So then why do anything?
He needs direction for. He just asked for direction, and I'm trying to give him direction. So we could vote on that. That the 10 people stay at the 80 plus, and then anybody new, you cap it at the 80.
Yeah, it's not going to have an impact, but it just looks like you're, you know, capping revenue.
Well, like Vinny said earlier, the good point is, though, we approve these rates after the fact, which is a problem. But that'll be addressed going forward.
Yeah, for this year, it doesn't matter, so I'm fine with that.
Okay. Leave motion for that. I'll make the motion.
John, why wasn't the 65,000 in prepaids in his revenue statement? Yeah, why isn't that?
That was last year.
I'll answer the question. It's considered a liability. The accounting package, from an accounting standpoint, the money is earned when you show up and take and play the round.
Okay.
It's not earned until that point in time.
Got it.
It will show up. It will show up.
If you use all 80 rounds, it'll show up.
But if I don't use 20 rounds, right? I bought a 20-round pack. If I don't use 20 rounds, I don't get a refund.
That's correct.
No,
So if you have the money, it's credited to the thing.
Listen, I'm not going to have a debate on this. That's the accounting way of handling this particular thing. Talk to a CPA and they'll explain it. That's the way they manage this particular thing.
And I think what happened last year, I think it was just clarified that it does, you know, anything that's unused, then it just falls into December revenue. It's a liability for the year until it's used. If it's not used, it expires.
Okay.
So I made the motion to keep the 10 people at 80 plus and to stop doing that the rest of the year, keep it at 80 rounds.
Right, it's...
Do we have a second? If not, then it stays at unlimited, Vinny, so.
I just had too many questions on it, that's all. I just don't, I mean,
We'll move on.
Well, I mean, I think, yeah, I can't, I mean, it's not gonna matter going forward. If it does, it's so incremental, and for each one, you're turning away $3,000 in revenue. It just doesn't make sense. You can say you have so much excess capacity, it's just not, I mean, if you talk to any golf course operator, they would never turn someone away for this. It averages out. You have people that buy 80-round packages and play 40. So if you do the statistics, we actually are ahead on the total rounds sold in packages of what's actually used. If you try to single out a couple and address this one, while you address the 40, address the 20, you know, technically every other course that does these passes, you know, they have something, and unlimited. Because you know, market value, you're not going to be able to sell multiple packages to one individual. So
the other problem is, you know, most courses like Golden Oaks, they do what, 32,000? I talked to Allentown Municipal, and
they did, you know, they did 24 last year.
Right, last year was because of the rain, and I get that. But I talked to Allentown Municipal, and they were low at like in the high 40,000 rounds. Obviously, you know, it's according to the playbook. We had 16,000 rounds. That's just trying to figure out, you know, like I said, I understand we don't want to kill the people, but if at some point,
Dave, your last interruption.
it's just trying to figure out what to.
It's a tough issue. We've changed the operating model every year for the last, 4 years or whatever, and
But I mean,
it's
some of
tough.
most times it's rarely I've heard that they actually include the golf carts in a package. You know, normally they sell like, okay, here's your $1,500. I think Allentown does like $1,400 for non-resident for the year, unlimited, but then you pay for the cart. So, you know,
And that's what we were 2 years ago.
right. Well, again, I wasn't on the board when all that decision was made. I'm just trying to going forward. And like I said, you know, when we kind of improved the budget, I thought it was just 80 rounds. I didn't realize it was an 80 plus that I knew of. I mean, it changed the VIP, but
Okay, so,
maybe you got ice cream at the end. I don't know.
so one more time, are we gonna do it? Did we get a second or no?
So what if someone else buys
And it just stays unlimited.
There's no second.
There's no second, and we can't.
I just don't understand.
Okay, no vote, it's fine, we'll just keep it as is. Status quo. Next, authorization to lease golf carts at a cost of $131,880.
This matter was also discussed last meeting. Again, the administration seeking direction. We would recommend that we retain the existing fleet, which is 60 carts available for the golfers, and when there's an extraordinarily heavy outing, a tournament outing, we would lease the additional golf carts that we would need. There are 5 carts that are in the process of being repaired and should be in operation by early May.
I think this is fair because of the RFQ. We should just let the fleet go this year until we get better direction for what we're going to do next year with the
As
golf
long as
course.
we have I think outsourced, I think we're tight on labor, so if we have outsourced mechanic, to keep them in working order. We'll give you a minute.
Next, authorization to purchase a greens mower at a cost of $34,370. We talked about this 2 weeks ago as well.
I talked this about 2 weeks ago. The existing mower is,
I think it says 38,060.
34, I think. We're able to negotiate.
$34,370.
The existing mower is somewhat workable. It will not survive the year. Given the fact that Mr. Murphy lives in this town and it will break the day after the meeting is held, I would recommend that you authorize the administration to purchase a mower now. Because if it breaks down the day after the meeting, you have to call a special meeting, and you gotta wait 2 weeks, and 2 weeks is too long to wait for a greens mower. Sorry.
And I think regardless of what we do next year, I think we have to maintain the greens. You and I said that last week.
Well, and I actually had made a motion to buy a greens mower, so I will make the motion.
I will second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
And that is our Reading Country Club discussion. Next, new business, authorization to retain Eckert Siemens as special legal counsel to address issues with respect to the IRS 2007 general bond issue.
Yeah, this is the township has received notice since the last meeting that its bonds issued with respect to the Reading Country Club for 2007 and thereafter are being audited by the IRS. Eckert Siemens has been retained previously to provide some guidance with respect to the misappropriation of funds that was discussed at prior meetings that had been spent by the township from the time frame of 2007 through 2009. So in terms, someone needs to interface with the IRS and to negotiate potentially with them and provide advice to the township regarding its exposure and what needs to happen. So I would recommend that the township retain the Eckert Siemens firm. The two lawyers there in particular are Mark Stein and Bob Tudor. They're both very experienced bond counsel and have worked with the township in the past.
I'll make a motion to retain Eckert Siemens as special legal counsel.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it.
One more on that. At a prior board meeting, the township authorized me to file a claim. The township has what are in essence called like errors and omissions bonds in place for public officials that were at the township in the time frame at issue here. We already submitted a claim with the township's authorization for the township treasurer on his bond at the time. Given the audit, I would ask that you authorize me as a solicitor to submit claims for each of the supervisors for the bonds that we had on each of the supervisors at the time period of 2007 through 2009 in the event that the exposure to the township exceeds the $1 million we have on the bond for the treasurer.
How about the town council and the solicitor, they get money to do something?
Yeah, if we have evidence of that, that would be helpful. But unfortunately, at this point, what we know is what's in the Mealy report. But if you have evidence of that, I would let you know.
I don't have any
Okay.
evidence. All I have is what I know from being there.
Which I would, if you want to share that with me, I would appreciate that, or that would be helpful. We can only go with what we have. So at this point, we know the expenses were approved. We know the expenses were likely impermissible, and so with that being the case, we can make the claim under the policies that, for the folks who approve them. But if anyone has information of any folks who are potentially responsible. Okay. Then do you mind if I get your information when we're done here? Thank you. Okay, so I'd ask for authorization to submit those claims.
I'll make a motion. You need a motion?
I need a motion.
Make a motion. I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Thanks, Sam. Next, approve waiver of permit fee for May Day's event. May 11th, there's going to be fireworks. Everybody's all excited. They're going to be loud. They're going to make people fall off their porches. It's going to be a great event on May the 11th at around 10 p.m. So we're just getting the approval through the engineering department to waive the permit fee for the community.
Where
At the high school, Exeter Township Stadium.
Thank you.
May 11th, 10 p.m. Do the motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, John, approved volunteer tax credit program list. I know Chris is here. If there's any questions for the board, Mr. Jordan could answer.
A couple years ago, the state took an effort to try to improve the membership in volunteer fire companies. They established a program providing tax credits for those individuals who volunteered to serve on the fire company and meet certain criteria that the fire company established. The board engaged, enacted that program effective for 2018. The fire company has certified a list of individuals who meet the criteria. Total tax credit of these individuals is $3,903, which is, in my estimation, a relatively inexpensive expense for the department, for the board, considering the amount of time these individuals put into meeting the requirements of the fire company. The administration would like to extend their thank you to the fire company and the members, and also authorize, request that the board approve this payment up to the individuals. The payment is to individuals. It's up to a $500 refund on their earned income tax and 15% on the real estate tax if they own if they own and live in a house in the township.
Make a motion to approve the tax credit.
I'll second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Thanks, Chris, for you and your team, and
Thanks.
good luck. Hopefully it helps in recruiting as well.
Thank you.
Next, Sam, adopt resolution amending sewer rate increase resolution.
Yes, so this is when the township took over the sewer system, or the sewer facility from the authority in 2014, the PUC has taken the position that at that time, the township was legally required to obtain a certificate of public convenience with respect to the service that the township was providing, the sewer service, or for the wastewater service, more accurately, for the 29 residents who live in Lower Alsace Township. That didn't happen. So we're dealing with the PUC right now about that issue in particular, and one of the things that they've asked us to do, as well as some of the consumer advocates who are involved at the PUC level, is that the 29 residents in Lower Alsace have their rates in essence stay the same while this issue is being worked out with the PUC. So this amendment would be necessary because of a prior resolution that was issued that was increasing the rates on these 29 homes in Lower Alsace. So in an effort to work with the PUC on this issue, I would ask that the board authorize the issuance of a resolution amending the prior resolution, sounds silly, but to, in essence, keep the rates for the 29 residential users in Lower Alsace status quo for the pendency of this issue.
Is it a motion?
Need a motion?
I'll approve
To approve the resolution.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, John, authorization of destruction of tax collector records.
Mr. Chair, we have an inordinate supply of outdated tax collector receipts dating as far back as 1995. Their paid bills and per capita and real estate taxes from 95 to 03. Property assessment rolls from 95 to 02. Duplicate tax bills and per capita from 97 to 2000. Duplicate tax reports from 95 to 08. And paid receipts from 1997 to 2000. All of these records have exceeded the record retention requirements. They're taking up a lot of space in the basement that we could use for other purposes, and we recommend that the board authorize their destruction. A note, I asked why we're stopping at U2000. It's because that's all the records that are in this building. The rest of the records are across the street in the tax collector's office, and we do not have control of them. So the tax collector would have to ask those records to be destroyed at his convenience. So these are only records in the township's possession.
Make the motion. I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, authorization to expend a total of $23,517 to remove, relocate, and upgrade the lift bucket from an existing vehicle to a replacement vehicle. This was a budgeted item.
Okay, Township has a lift bucket to use to maintain traffic signals and other things that are above grade. The vehicle is to be replaced this year, and we are looking to take the bucket off the existing vehicle and put it on a new vehicle. Because of the equipment involved, it has to go, I believe, to a machine shop that has a crane. The bucket is in good shape. It's the vehicle that's a little sorry. If the township were to buy a new vehicle with a new bucket truck, it would be over $100,000. So this is going to save you $70,000 or so by using the existing equipment within the township. Administration and fleet manager would recommend that the board authorize this expense.
I'll make a motion to expend $23,517, whatever, to relocate and upgrade the lift bucket.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, so you're taking out the one truck, what kind of truck are you putting it on?
We have a 2016 Ford F-350 that was at the sewer plant.
Oh, okay.
So we'd be putting it on that. We'd be pulling it off at 99 and putting it on that truck.
Yeah, because we had, our company had one, and I think ours was over $150,000 for our project. So, they're not cheap. A lot less than fire.
Any other discussion, guys? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, authorization to purchase a replacement pavement roller through the CoStarz program at a cost not to exceed $38,061. These will come through liquid fuels.
Mr. Chair, usually the late winter, early spring is the time when the fleet manager repairs, puts ready into service all the stuff you need for paving. It was determined that the small roller that we have is not serviceable. It was due to be replaced next year. We were hoping to get by another year, but it's just not going to work. He's recommending that be replaced. There is sufficient funds in the liquid fuels fund to pay for this piece of equipment this year rather than next year, and I'm recommending to the board authorize its purchase.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, authorization to purchase 2,032-gallon recycling containers from TMF Corporation through the CoStarz program at a cost of $25,875. This is part of the grant that we received, John.
Yes, late last year, through the efforts of Clarence Ham, who did a magnificent job getting the township $700,000 for recycling, we had funds set aside to purchase additional recycling containers. We're running out of them. The ones we have now are small, as most of you know. So we're proposing to purchase 32-gallon containers. They're round, taller. We're also proposing next year, when this comes up later in the year, to go to recycling on a weekly basis rather than a bi-weekly basis. But we would need authorization to buy 2,032-gallon recycling containers at a cost of $25,875. 85% of that cost is through the grant program, so 15% of the cost the township would buy, and that's part of the money to pay for recycling, pays for that local cost.
Okay. No, I was going to say, it's not the one with the wheels.
No, they're not. The regular 32-gallon, they don't have wheels on them. We talked with the contractor who collects the stuff, and he stated that the wheels just don't work, and it's difficult. He doesn't have the right type of equipment, and neither do a lot of these smaller companies in the region. So he recommended the 32-gallon one that's just pick it up and move it.
It's two-handle tub.
Yeah.
A little louder, please.
A two-handle tub.
Are they lidded?
No lids, because the lids will eventually fly around like saucers.
I think
Yeah, pretty much. So, it's the open face thing, and it'll work. It's bigger. And if we go to once a week recycling, I think it'll make it a lot easier to.
I would be for that. That would be awesome.
How would they be distributed? 2,000, is it first come, first served?
First come, first served. There'll be a line the day they get here. We're running out. We're very short on them right now.
We're out. We are out.
We're out?
We're
Okay.
recommending one per household, which is like the same small.
Right. There'll be one per household. First come, first served. When we get them, we'll post it on the website. Do we have a delivery in the anticipated time?
Once we place the order, I think it's 4 to 6 weeks lead time.
Okay, so it'll be the end of May when we get them.
Excuse me. Will they have holes in the bottom so the rain? Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Motion?
Make a motion to authorize the purchase of the 2,000 recycling containers.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? I just want to say a great job to the team and Clarence. This is something that the residents have asked for. I think it's going to be a positive thing for the township.
Because like I said, I have one.
Not the big one. I've never gotten a big one.
I have one of the big ones.
I have one of them.
Yeah.
And I don't, when I
I have the two little ones.
I have that, and I always forget what it is.
I just have the two little ones.
Do we have recycling stickers that people can come up and create their own? But it can't be over a certain size, right? You don't want 60
That
gallons.
doesn't work because I had it when they took mine.
They took the whole container. Oh, you recycled it.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, Joe, approve final escrow release of Exeter Woods.
We received escrow release number 11, which is the final for the closeout of the Exeter Woods development from the Trim Development Company. Development situated along West Neversink Road. All the on-site improvements have been conducted and inspected, and this is for the final release of monies pertaining to landscaping and lighting, erosion, sedimentation, pollution control, construction observation and administration. We're recommending to the Board of Supervisors to release $99,557.47 contingent upon all outstanding fees paid to the township by the developer for that amount. Looking for a recommendation for this evening. This would be the final closeout. There would be no more remaining funds available, and then the project would be completed. There's nothing public to be dedicated, so there is no maintenance bond required. It's all on-site and private. Yes, motion to approve release.
I'll make a motion to approve the release of the escrow.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Department reports. Chief, you've been on the job. Tell us about what you've been doing.
Well, I just want to thank everyone, the township staff, the police department, and community for welcoming me. I have a lot of great ideas for the police department that can enhance its operations, and I look forward to working with everyone in furtherance of that goal. I have an open door policy. If anyone wants to call me or talk to me, please do so. I won't turn anyone away, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome aboard again. Clarence.
Continuing with the renovation of Highland Park, taking out quite a few scrub brush and that kind of thing. We're coming near the end of that. We have 3 weeks left. After that, we're going to turn into paving again. So we have a little bit of work to do down there yet, trying to get everything cleaned up, leveled off, get some grass planted, and that will be fine for the summer, so the kids program can still run down there. Street sweeper's out. He's still a long way to go. Probably got about a month and a half yet left. Other than that, we have some catch basins we've been cleaning up. Again, anybody has any potholes that they want filled, please let us know. We've gotten most of them, but I'm sure we missed some.
Mr. Rogoski.
Just one item. Tomorrow we'll be having a pre-construction meeting with the proposed Sheets building. As you may be aware, the demolition has been completed for the former Bolarama site. Tomorrow we'll be discussing schedule and formality and administrative items pertaining to the development. It's our understanding they would like to have everything completed by August of this year. I'll be meeting with the staff and Representative Sheets to have that meeting, and I believe they'll be starting the site work right after the meeting then. I think they're ready to start it now, so that's all I have to report.
Thanks. Just one thing, before the meeting, there was an executive session to discuss dispute with Verizon concerning cell tower on Heartline Road.
John? Did you want to, your public comment in the back? Did you want to say, somebody wanted to talk about something before?
No, I'll get you
All right,
after
good.
the meeting.
Okay, no problem. Supervisor reports, start with Vinnie.
Well, I don't want to get done, but I do want to welcome the chief. I think I'm just exactly going to be a great addition to the community. That's it.
Mr. Speece.
I echo that. Certainly welcome, Chief. Look forward to working together in the township and everything. One thing I wanted to mention earlier, or just wanted to ask a question. I got a call from someone, but is trying to plan a class reunion, or have we made a decision on going forward with the rentals of the?
We have no staff to open the building at all, none. We have to hire set of people will attend, bartender, people will close it afterwards. It'd be relatively exorbitant to do that all in one up.
So we lost money on operations of events.
I don't know if we lost money. We lost money. Yeah, we lost money last year, yes. The best I can recommend is the board keep the building closed. We'll maintain it. We'll keep it clean and
Get someone in there.
Enough.
Yeah, no, I just asked because, I mean, class reunions, I know there were a couple people waiting, but what we consider charging a higher price?
It'd have to be over $1,000.
Well, it already is, right?
No, we were charging $300. For that type of event, we're charging $300. Golfers is $300.
Well, no, I'm talking about class reunions and weddings and.
Are we doing
that? I thought we were taking bookings.
We're not taking bookings, no. We haven't taken any bookings.
I don't think that's, Dave, I don't think that's anything new. We finished out what we finished out, and then we weren't taking anything new.
Okay, I thought in light of keeping it open, I thought we were.
No. Just the golf operation. And then with the RFQ out, it'd be silly to open it up for a little bit, and then the RFQ direction is going to determine where we go.
So all the caterers have been informed and
that I don't know.
That was only event by event, I guess. Okay.
I just want to congratulate Dave on being nominated as vice chair, and welcome, chief. And I know there's only 3 of us, so I ask for patience from the public. With only 3 of us, as you can see, 3 of us have to agree on the vote, or the vote doesn't happen. So until we get 2 new supervisors, one for Mr. Ducher and one for Ms. Vanderlaan, there's probably going to be another meeting of just the 3 of us, and then hopefully we're going to nominate 2 people, possibly at the next meeting, depending on the resumes and the letters of interest that we get. Ms. Vlasic.
Yeah, I have a question regarding the chief. Was there anything in their layout that they're going to be putting in any landscaping, any kind of...
It actually looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. We had a meeting here where we actually displayed it, and it's going to be as nice as a gas station could be.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
We need it to be...
We'll make a motion to adjourn. I'll make that motion.
No. There's questions on the floor.
He had his public comment, and he was rude during the meeting, so we can talk after the meeting. Motion to adjourn.
Question on the floor.
You didn't do public comment.
What about public comment?
Yep.
Did you sign up?
At the end of the meeting,
Yep.
weren't you permitted?
You were supposed to sign up.
I'll sign right now.
I'll let you talk, and then
Big deal.
that'll be it.
Is this working? Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
I'm sure quite a few
What's your
people.
name and address, please?
Kim McEwen, McKeon, 104 Lincoln Drive, Reading, PA 19606. This is my very first township meeting, and it's been quite an experience. Listening to the township supervisors, some of which were respectful, some of which were not. And it really surprises me. First of all the people that are here, probably if you took a vote, most of the people who are here are because of the Reading Country Club. So it surprised me that you were shocked. Why do we need bigger rooms for what? Well, because of the Reading Country Club. That's why probably most of these people are here. Am I incorrect in that assumption? So there you go. So that's telling you need to get to know the township and their priorities and what is important to them. I know some of you are new to the board and
You
probably...
can say my name, I'm Vinny. Nice to meet you.
Mr. Biancone, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Biancone.
Biancone?
Yes.
Okay. Listening also about, is it John or Mr. Granger? John, about the revenue, loss of revenue with the Reading Country Club. When I look back into the minutes, even referencing one of the township meeting minutes, August 10th of 2009, just to give you an example, the Reading Country Club golf was only $92,000, but the food and beverage was $182,500. So that pretty much tells you if you're not willing to open up the Reading Country Club and allow revenue to come in for food and beverage and events that could indeed bring revenue to the township, because after all, revenue is revenue. You can put whatever reports you want in front of everyone that the golf isn't cutting it, and I think we would all agree the golf is not cutting it. You're going to need revenue through food and beverage. And I think there's a lot of people here in the township that would be willing to be part of subcommittees to come up with wonderful ideas to use that beautiful country club instead of just having it closed and not allowing revenue to come into the township.
I made several statements a couple years ago that in order for the country club, I'm talking all three pieces, the catering, the restaurant, and the golf course, you all need to work together.
Absolutely.
No question about it.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't been done since the site's been open.
Well, you're supposed to...
No.
Yeah. Right.
Wasn't that what Hunter mentioned earlier, that the supervisors need to work with the township residents? I mean, I know you're relatively new, John. You're here since 2016. Some folks are here 50 years, 35 years. Others are 40 and 50, so I think they know what the township needs.
Let me finish, please.
Absolutely.
The board has authorized and directed the administration late last year, early this year, to prepare an RFQ, request for qualifications, from outside vendors to come in and operate the entire course. That document will be approved, I believe, at the next board meeting, being sent out for people to come in and operate it correctly. We are looking for one vendor who can operate the course and the building, so that, again, and I will tell you right now, this will be one of the most publicly discussed processes this township has had in a long time, because you're not going to walk away. I expect that process will probably take 3 to 6 months, might be a little longer, because they're relatively complex. I expect to get relatively complex documents. And then once the qualifications are done, I think we'll have an RFQ for proposals, an actual proposal from a firm to do it. We can't part of the problem that has been happening here is that this process has not been undertaken before. They haven't asked people outside of known individuals to look at the country club as a business opportunity. I've been getting phone calls from as far away as Florida, from investors who know the site, is the community, the marketplace, is talk about it. There are people who want to come here and do something, but until you put together what you want, what you're looking for, and what you expect to get out of it, is a relatively complex process. One of the other things why it's not open, I'm telling you, we don't have the staff here. We do not have the staff to operate that. You will need somewhere between 40 and 60 people to operate that facility on a daily basis, whether it's for food or for catering. You need to have cooks, wait staff, operators, cleaners, closers. It is a...
Yeah, don't the people that rent it bring their own caterers?
Yes, but you still... You still need people to open it.
What about the rec director?
My staff worked 7 days a week, almost 20 weeks last year consecutively, making sure that those people who rented it after they closed it could come and do their venues. They got burned out. They're working to your benefit, to their detriment.
Well, maybe you need to get a subcommittee of volunteers then that are willing to do that in the township. There's probably a lot of people that would be willing to help.
It is a very complex organization. One of the things that really is very difficult here is the liquor license, and it played a large part in the transaction that recently occurred with the prior operator.
Or you mean because of the fact that he said he had it and he didn't? Is that what you mean?
To serve liquor on that site, the employee, it has to be by an employee of the township. It can't be a contractor. I can't contract with you, I can't contract with them. I can't have you do it for nothing. You have to be an employee of the township. That is a big issue because I have to go hire a bartender or a group of bartenders.
Right, how difficult is it to hire a bartender?
They have to be HARB certified. Again, it's a difficult task to put together. And with all...
Maybe you need help, John.
I do.
Where would you like to draw that help from? From township residents, from the board?
I serve as the direction of the board. They give me direction what they want.
The reality is, the township bought this land long ago.
I absolutely get it. They did not intend to run the golf course. Absolutely.
It was a complete mistake.
Absolutely.
It was a complete mistake.
That should not be the responsibility of the supervisors to run the golf course. They should have hired someone,
they did.
Which they did,
and
then they also fired.
It's failed. It's failed the last 15 years. So what we're trying to do is send the RFQ and get ideas.
I think
that's it. Good. That's what we've done. So this board is finally taking the mess that's been the last 15 years and trying to fix it.
I think you're not going to like this comment. I need a little patience here. Less than good decisions have been made over the years on this course.
Absolutely.
It's been a mess.
I don't want to create a bigger mess than is already there. I think if we can maintain the status quo for the next several months and get through this RFQ process, I'm hoping, it's the government, I get it, that the end product is worth the aggravation to get there.
And Kim, ask yourself this question: is the Reading Country Club a core function of government? The answer is no.
I totally agree, but I guess what I'm also wondering is why
I just made a statement.
Why present all those numbers at the last meeting with the information when you really don't have all the information? You only had a part of the information. And so when you present a report, because I worked in banking for 42 years, when you present a report, you present all the information, not a biased opinion directed in the direction of the person presenting the presentation.
I'll answer that question. First of all, I have no opinion on this matter. Okay, I don't. I'll be honest.
I beg to differ, but
no, I don't, because quite frankly, I don't play golf. I work with the elected officials here. They asked for me to prepare the report based on the operation of the golf course only. That was it. and I did the best I could.
He took the direction
And I'm
from the
telling you,
board.
the records are less than good. I showed you the information that was available for the operation of the country club in revenues and the broader picture. It wasn't what everybody wanted to see. I didn't particularly care for the report myself, but that is the information that I had available to me at the time. And it was limited. I'm not going to disagree with you. But, you know, if I had to go back and say include the clubhouse in that, I don't think I'd be able to do it because the operation of the first 5 years, the records in some places are non-existent anymore.
And why is that?
I don't know.
They were lost?
I don't know.
Or they were just destroyed? What was your answer?
I don't know the answer to your question because I wasn't here.
I know, you're here since 2016, I get it. And I'm not just blaming this board, because seriously, a lot of these things happened 10, 15, whatever years ago, but you're here now in front of us, and you need to work with us as township residents. And I think Hunter made that point very clear tonight.
Hunter was on the soapbox, so I'm not going to comment on that. Anyway,
May I finish, John? May I finish? Hunter was one of the few people that got applauded tonight. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, the audience, that's what it tells me.
Absolutely.
Anyway, what we're saying though, Kim, is we did the RFQ, it's going to be done at the next meeting. What the RFQ is going to be, is it's going to come back and see what we want to do with this golf course. Then we're going to have public meetings in a big room, bigger than this room, talk about the future of the country club. That's what we're doing. This board is addressing the sins of the past, and that's exactly what we're doing.
And we're not blaming you, just so you understand.
I'm trying to fix it.
You're simply the face. You're simply the face. You weren't the ones who created the problem. But hopefully you will be the ones that will help resolve the problem. That's what the township people and residents are looking for.
Thank you.
I'm not against the golf course, but what will make it survive? What will help the residents? That's what I'm saying. That's why there's an RFQ. Again, I'm not against the golf course. I'm not against anything. I've had people say, we should have soccer fields, we should have this. Those are all great ideas, but we're not creating it. That's why we're going to put out the RFQs, get ideas, and let's get everything there. I mean, I've had people say, well, we should do an amphitheater, have parks and music programs. That would be awesome too. But again, it would affect the golf course.
And Kim, I've always said we need to use that, everybody needs to use that golf course. Everybody, not just golfers.
Right.
That's what we need to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're saying creatively the people that are just running it again, it's that. And again, the parks department's different there. They're just, everybody's making a little bit. That's why it's like we're trying to help them out. Because again, this makes a wonderful part of it.
Right.
I mean, it's a $12 million budget. And we're lacking in other areas because all we can ever focus on is Reading Country Club. So that's why we're planning our RFQs. Let's get that going. So we also focus on the other things. You got to achieve that.
Well, is it possible that you can get subcommittees for some of these other things as well? Because it sounds like the township residents are willing to help. Wouldn't it be good to get their input since it's their township as well as yours?
I've been here for over 20 years. My wife grew up here her whole life since she was 4.
Well, there you go.
I've been, my kids are in school.
There you go.
I'm invested into the township. I mean, I live in Perkman Avenue in the middle of all that going on. So trust me, I get it. I started coming to meetings because of that, 3 years ago. And then I got appointed when Chip resigned. I put my letter of intent out because why? I had no agenda. I just want to do good for, like I said, when I make a decision, there's 25,500 residents in my mind when I make a decision, not 512 golfers, not this for that part, not this for this part, it's for everybody.
Well, that's good. That's good. And I didn't mean to take so much time. I just wanted to make a general comment, but...
Make a motion to adjourn.
Wait, one more comment.
Go ahead. Name and address.
From Church, I live at 1101 Stonehenge Drive. When I take insult, John, she's saying it's a sins of the past board. If you realize at the time, and I wasn't on the board when this was purchased, at the time we were facing 300 to 600 houses on that property, 2 schools at $60 to $80 million additional tax money. And at the time, the residents did not want to have that additional tax money, did not want to build 2 schools. So at the time, spending 15 million, which what I was told it was going to cost when I was on the board the following year, was a big difference than 60 to 80 million dollars, and that was the savings for the taxpayer. And I myself, spending 12 years on the board here, cleaned up a lot of messes from other boards. So I do absolutely do not like if they call it the sins. They did, that board, when they thought that the best that they thought they could do financially for the residents of this township. And that was a good move at the time. I don't know what happened with that, and it still is a good move that we don't have all that additional traffic and everything else here. And that's all I wanted to say. It was not sin, it was being financially, fiscally responsible for the township residents, which the Board of Supervisors must do.
Thank you.
You go, girl.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. 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 Thank you.
John, you thirsty?